Okay, so I had a request to do a video on number 1 and 2 from homework 9. So here it goes. Here we have the probability that A occurs is 0.4, the probability that B occurs is 0.6, and the probability that B occurs given A has already occurred is 0.7. So one of our tests for independence is if, let's get a red, here we go. Oh, is if the probability of B given A has already occurred is equal to the probability of B, then this implies independence. Okay, so here we have probability of B given A is equal to 0.7, and we want to see if that's equal to the probability of B if A hadn't occurred. We here see it's not. Therefore, since if A occurs, the probability of B changes, we can say the probability of B is dependent on A, therefore there is a dependence. Alright, so that's problem 2. So these events are not independent. Alright, for the second problem, now we have the probability of A given B. So all right, so we have this thing that if the probability of B given A is equal to probability of A and B divided by probability of A. Okay, and we also have the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A and B divided by the probability of B. Well, if I take this first equation and multiply it both by, let's just take space. Take this first equation and multiply both sides by the probability. Let's do it like this. By the probability of A then what happens is let's see, these cancel out. Okay, these cancel out. So you're left with the probability A times the probability given A equals the probability of A and B. Okay. Now, if I do the same thing with the second equation, but I multiply both sides by the probability of B, then again, the probability of B is going to cancel out on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, I'm just going to get probability of B times probability A given B equals probability of A and B. So when two things are equal to the same thing, you can set them equal to each other. So we have probability A times the probability of B given A equals probability of B times the probability of B of A given B. Okay, so now we have 4 things we need, but we're given 3 of them. So we're given the probability of A, which is 0.4. Given the probability B given A, which is 0.7. And we're given the probability of B, which is 0.6. All right. Now, if I divide both sides by 0.6, then the 0.6 on the right will cancel out. And I get the probability of A given B. Oops. Probability of A given B is equal to 0.7 times 0.4 divided by 0.6. So, pull up a calculator. All right. So we have 0.7 or 0.4. 0.4 times 0.6, no, that's 0.7 divided by 0.6. So that's about 0.47. Okay, so that is what we were looking for. And you'll answer 0.47 as your answer. All right, I hope you found that helpful.